We're talking about your rights, getting arrested, how to choose a lawyer, how to post bail.
Yes, all very pertinent subjects in today's, modern world. What with all of the stuff. I mean, you read it about in the newspapers every day. It's very easy to get arrested these days, I have to say. But we've gone so far all the way up to questioning. So we're in the room, and the big spotlight's on us, and we've been questioned, and the lawyer's there, and the lawyer kind of says, "What? Don't answer, don't answer, don't answer." So what happens after that? How long can you be held for after you've been charged?
Basically, once you're arrested, there's the minimum 24 hours that the police can hold you. After that, if they want to still keep you in remand pending the investigation, they have to go to a magistrate's court and get what you call a remand order.
Okay.
Now, the duration of the remand order that could be given depends on the offence you're being charged with.
Right.
Okay.
So the more serious the offence, the longer you can be held.
So if you're charged with an offence which has an imprisonment of less than 14 years, then the first order of remand cannot exceed 4 days.
Okay.
And then the second one cannot exceed 3 days. So you're looking at a total of about 7 days.
Right. Okay.
Whereas if it's over and above that, it's 7 and 7.
Now, would your lawyer be involved in this process as well, or is this just happening around you?
No. I mean, at the remand hearing, yes, usually it's very encouraged and advised to have your lawyer there because, naturally the police will want to have you stick around as long as possible. Your lawyer is going to be there to ensure that they do not get such an order, and that if they do get an order, it's a reasonable one that would meaningfully help the investigation.
So how do you make sure your lawyer's there? Because I know that occasionally, they get told it's the wrong room or the wrong time, or, you get brought in through the back door by accident, just because there's no parking out the front perhaps. And how do you work around that?
Well, good old-fashioned footwork and just calling up people, I'm afraid.
Right.
But I think systematically it's getting a bit better with the new provisions in where you have to call your lawyer, where you can call your lawyer, and at the first instance. So at least that helps with the tracking of where you're moved to.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Speaking of calling a lawyer, I know this is backtracking a little bit, but we've got a question here from Hugh. He wonders that if they will appoint a lawyer for you if you can't afford one.
Yeah. Theoretically, that goes towards excess of justice, and I would say it's the state's obligation to provide for a lawyer for anybody who's accused. But in Malaysia, it's only capital offences, cases where you're charged in the High Court for something like death. That's when you get what you call assigned counsel. Those are private practitioners, and they're usually on the list. They're paid a token sum to do this pretty heavy criminal work.
So it's like community service for lawyers, basically.
Yeah, something like that. But if you're not charged for something that serious, that's where it gets a bit tricky, because you don't get assistance.
Can you appear in court unrepresented in Malaysia?
Yes, you can.
You can.
You're perfectly entitled to conduct your own defense as well, although that's not usually advisable.
Right.
But like the legal aid, for example, in other jurisdictions, it's the state that pays for legal aid, whereas in Malaysia, they don't really have that. What you have is the Bar Council Legal Aid, who provides free legal service.
Right.
Yeah. You have lawyers who take up criminal cases, and they handle them all the way, and sometimes they don't get paid at all. Yeah.
Oh,
and that's real pro bono work.
I can imagine. But it's very useful, of course, for those who've been accused.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Definitely.
Okay.
But the backlog is just massive.
Okay.
Because there are too many people being charged, I think.
So we're talking this morning to Fahri Azzad, practicing young lawyer who looks really nice with a ponytail. It's an unusual look for a lawyer.
Hey, lawyers,
Cool.
Thanks.
It's like a mob lawyer, kind of Vegas sort of, no. Anyway, carrying on. We've actually got a couple of questions before we go into the rest.
2 questions
Sure.
about videotaping via CCTV or with a camera handphone while your house is being searched by the police. Is that possible? Is it legal? Can they do it? Can you do it?
Yeah, well, this is my opinion. I think you should be entitled to film them as long as you are not interfering with the course of the search or the investigation. Then I don't see any problem with that.
But the thing is that there's going to be a bunch of them in your house, right? So it's going to be kind of hard keeping track of where they go. Yeah. Is there a limit to the number of people they can sort of jump in with to search?
No.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the situation, so it's a bit hard to say, 5 or 10 or whatever.
Okay, can you do this one by one? And we'll do a tour, okay?
Yeah, I mean, you can't be like Steven Spielberg and start coordinating everybody and say, yeah, okay, you do it this now and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this evidence or whatever that you take, the footage, is it admissible in court if you find that there's kind of a dodgy area?
Yeah, I mean, if there are certain allegations that you wish to rebut, like say, if you are making a case to say that it was planted in your place, then yeah, definitely it's relevant.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Another one here. If the police have a search warrant but nobody's at home, can they enter with force and search?
Usually they have to serve you with the order, and there should be a specific order to allow them to break and enter into your place. Naturally, if they cannot find you, inevitably they would have to break in at some point. But usually they would have to serve it on you. You would have to have notice of it.
Okay.
And can they serve it to a family member to give to you?
Service for criminal matters usually has to be on a personal. Has to be personal.
So no one else can accept it for you.
That
grey area
depends,
again.
Yeah, it depends on the situation.
Okay, great. All right, now let's say we've been held, let's say, and we're being remanded and stuff. Now, can you post bail or anything, or is this only once it actually starts to go to court? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, basically, generally you're entitled to bail. Okay.
And what point can you bail out? I mean, because let's say you've been remanded for 4 days or 7 days or something. Can you bail during that period, or?
No, if you're remanded, then usually you don't get bail.
Okay.
Yeah. You're usually given bail. Say if you're charged for something, then you're usually offered bail, unless of course it's one of those very heavy punishments, capital punishments. Then it's a non-bailable. That means you don't get bail at all.
Okay. Now, when they say things like 200,000 ringgit bail or something like that, is that like cash that you actually have to put down on the table, or?
Theoretically, yes, it is, in a sense that you basically have to bring this money, deposit into a book. What happens is the court will give you a letter to say that this money is for purposes of bond.
Okay.
So they'll open a special account just for that. And what happens is then you give the book to the registry, court registry, and they will keep it.
And then,
but you do not ever give cash or valuables.
So you don't say, well, here's a watch, okay,
yeah,
can you let
don't
my
give
sort of
tech
wife out of jail or something?
Yeah.
Right, okay. And do you get that back eventually? Or is that just, no?
Yes, you do.
Oh, you
If the person that you're standing as bailer for turns up all the time, then yeah, you're entitled to your bail.
Okay.
Your bail is usually forfeited when, say, the accused doesn't turn up, and you don't have a very good excuse as to
why they didn't turn up.
Why they didn't turn up, and secondly, what efforts did you make to make sure they turned up in court?
Right.
So if you told them like, hey, I sent them an SMS once, like 7 months ago,
and they didn't turn up,
and then most likely you're gonna get a portion of that.
Okay. So when you post bail, are you normally released into the custody of your friends, family, or lawyer, or who?
No, bail means once you've got bail,
you're
free to go.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can post your own bail.
Yeah, if you have enough money. No, sorry. No, you can't.
You
post your own
can't.
bill.
Okay.
Somebody has to post it for you. Yeah.
Right.
That's
Okay. Cool. And now, okay. Well, you know what? Earlier I asked this question, and I know that some people have texted in as well with this whole if we do want to get a lawyer or we do need a lawyer, roughly how much it would cost to sort of go to trial and how much lawyers charge. I mean, I know that they have like an hourly rate and stuff. Would you be willing to tell us?
Well, Will, I can't because that my life depends on it.
Right.
But generally, the two ways they can bill. One is by the job. You tell them what you need done, and then they say, okay, this is how much it's going to cost.
So it's like a package.
Yeah, sort of like a package, and they've given you your rates. The other way is, but I think criminal lawyers rarely use the billable hour. That's usually a corporate civil kind of rate. Yeah, but the other way, it's they give you their hourly rates and you go with that And that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that's good to know. Okay, you know what? We've got to finish off though with a little something, and this is well, I don't know whether we should whether this is the correct term, but the Little Red Book.
Yeah.
What exactly is Little Red Book?
Okay, the Red Book is it's this book that was produced by a group with the Bar Council, and basically what it does is it's an excellent guide and summary of your rights vis-a-vis arrest, bail, and basically if you are called in as a witness or as a suspect by the police, it tells you in step-by-step manners how to deal with situations, and like bail, like how to speak with the cops, what to say, how to react. So I would strongly recommend everybody try and get a copy.
Okay, do you have to go and buy this, or?
It was available, but I'm not too sure whether the physical copies are around, but you can surf over to the Bar Council Malaysia website,
which is
at www.malaysianbar.org.my.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can just download it.
Yeah, you can download it. It's in PDF format, and you can print it yourself. Like I've printed one copy here today.
Right, fabulous. And this, of course, is the
Leave that with you before you go.
yeah. So this is the full guide, really, on what to do in any sort of legal situation, pretty much.
Well, I would say it's a good guide, but it's a non-exhaustive guide.
Okay,
Yeah.
so make sure you still get your lawyer in.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we need to earn some. We need to fill up the bowl too.
Okay, all right, that's good to know.